Hi, welcome to the channel. So here we are, just sauntering gently around this corner through some road work conditions, coming down the downhill section. Yeah, so I thought today's video on the NX500 would be maybe, 3 things I like about the bike and 3 things I dislike. So the first thing that I dislike about the bike is the build quality so far has not been up to Honda standards. We've had a blown front fork seal. This is all on back roads like this. An Allen key bolt worked its way loose or wasn't installed correctly, and supposedly, and also had a weld on the rider's seat top of a bracket, the rider's foot peg bracket, disintegrated. The weld, chipped on it, was jagged. I actually cut my finger on it when I was inspecting the Allen key bolt and the chain guard, which I ended up tightening back in. So anyway, the explanation, like, I'm not even going to go into the explanation from the dealer because I didn't, it's a lot of fucking bullshit, but I wonder how far he was over the fucking lines coming up here. I was following a tow truck coming up. It was a heavy haulage trailer, and he went completely on the wrong side of the road and stalled. Best practice, advice that I could give, or whatever it's worth, is when you're coming through vanishing points where you keep blind corners, stay as far left as you possibly can. There's a car gone over the edge there. It's known, it's got a police thing, that's an old, so it looks like it's been there for a while. They tend to leave the cars down there even in summer, and they've become a bushfire hazard with glass and stuff, and they just tend to leave them. I saw one on beachfront, man, that was there for 6 months, in a peak, right for at least 4 or 5 months, right through the peak bushfire season. They just left the car. There'd been a near head-on collision between 2 cars, probably both cut in the corner, one cut in the corner, and the other went to swerve. I'm assuming what happened and went over the edge. Nobody got killed, fortunately, but we just left the car there for months during the fucking, peak bushfire summer. About 50 meters down the cliff. I finally got it. It wasn't like it was impossible to retrieve. Just what is it saying? She'll be right, mate. She'll be right. I can't say we're having short legs. I can't say coming to a stop on those sort of off canvas on my favourite thing, on a heavy bike. I rode all trails, when I was younger, steep freaking hills on a tall trail bike, but it was light, You got lean the bike without the tipping. This is a better bike than a Translab for that. Them pins don't come up that often, like that. It just makes me a little, I could, there was a little lay-by where you could make, but do you really want to risk taking that left hand if there's a car coming along? I don't. I'd rather stop. Unless you can see a clear run, and you can see there's nothing coming to your right. Kokoda Barracks entrance. Hi, welcome to the channel. So yeah, three things I like about the Transalp: it's compact, it's agile, it is still a heavy beast, 196 kilos wet, plus whatever accessories you put on. Stays planted to the ground. Ergonomically, it is better for smaller stature riders because we wouldn't comparing it to a mid-adventure bike like the Transalp. Because there will be more than me, people like myself, getting a bit older. As you get older, from being 55 to being 60, can, especially if you've had any medical issues in between those years, can diminish your core weight. It can just, yeah. So I think it makes sense to let go of our ego and, you know, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm not getting old. I'm 85 and I'm still going to ride my Ninja NX500n, whatever it is." That's fine, but why not, if you can, why not get a smaller bike? I mean, this is just my thinking. Not necessarily horsepower. Mine has like 92 horsepower to 47, but that's only because the bike's got 47 horsepower. You don't need more than 50 horsepower on these back roads, though. Speed limits, road conditions, wildlife, other drivers, a good rider on these roads would still be hard pressed to use the whole 47 horsepower all the time, So you're not going to run out of speed on this bike. And if you were like, "Oh, I just want to ride," forget the road conditions, forget everything else, forget your license. You know, the real world is all those things are real, Trees fall down, kangaroos jump out in front of you. The faster you go, you're reducing your available braking distance, So you only have to, like, this is 60 kilometers an hour here, 64 indicated on this bike will be 60 kilometers. If I went up to 105, just say, it doesn't take much. Even on this bike, it doesn't take that much, but it takes a lot more than on the Transalp to get up to 100. If I went to 105, I've lost my license, and the police car was at the bottom of this hill, Lost my license with a speed gun, pointing up the hill. So the ergonomics of this bike are really good for a smaller, shorter rider with 28-inch legs. So if you have between 26, 27-inch legs, say 27 to 29, I think the bike's just pretty good. Any taller, you're going to have a bit of rider triangle cramp. You might have to get the taller seat, or you might have to get an aftermarket seat peg modifications location. And the older you are, the more likely you will have knee pain. You might have old injuries, sport injuries, bike injuries, just age. So it's going to be amplified. It's going to be more, you're going to be more conscious if you feel cramped because you got longer legs. I would not recommend this bike for anybody with bigger than 30-inch legs. I think even with a tall seat, you're going to struggle, 30 max, how about that? Because 2 inches on the seat's a fair bit, you're not going to be able to lift up more than 2 inches. Anyway, thanks for watching.